I thought I'd do a video about how to wire your stuff if you're a singer and you want to be on KMR or one of these video shows. Okay, so here's my microphone. This microphone is that brand. I also have a microphone that is this brand. These are condenser microphones. That's the connector. And that hole is where it screws onto the, it connects like this. You get this attachment when you buy the microphone. And then it screws onto your microphone, like at the Kingdom Hall. Okay. So these only work if there's phantom power. Now phantom power is what powers the microphone. Without it, you won't hear anything. The microphones at the Kingdom Hall, they are not phantom power. There's a regular mic, you just plug them in. But these require power. And that power is coming from the cord itself when you plug it into the unit. Now this unit I have here is that brand. Okay, now that brand has something on the back called phantom power. Show it right here. See, my unit is off. The little circle is off. I'm gonna turn phantom power on. Now it's on. And now the system is on. With that off, the mics will not work. So now I have my mic going into here. These are channels. Here's a channel, channel. See right here. 1, 2, channel 3, channel 4, channel 5. Okay, so here's channel 1. In other words, they mean this line right here, going all the way up. Channel 2. This is this line going all the way up, channel 2. Now if you want stereo, stereo is left and right. So here's channel 1. If I pan this left, channel 2, I pan that right, I can get stereo. What happens is I'll have a device or a keyboard like this one right here, and it has a left and a right. 2 cables will come out and go into these jacks up here. These 2. One will be left, one will be right. And I'll pan them that way, left, right. See, it's got the word pan right there. Now what is this? This is the effects. So the brothers say, oh, add more hall reverb. This is how you add more reverb. Right here. This up here is something you will not have to worry about. Okay, now your effects are all coming from in here. That's kind of hard to see, but that's kind of I don't know if I can capture that, but it's a 6. But anyway, I can change the effects that I have here. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And all these are all the effects that I built in. And now it's flashing. I press the button, and now I got that one. Well, I select 4. Press the button, and now it's 4. And whatever that 4 is up here, what's 4? 4 is some kind of a plate. So it's some kind of a plate. So that's plate reverb is called. Okay, so now you pick the one that sounds best, echo, whatever. And this is how much of it will go in. Okay. Now they say, oh, you need more bass, you need more treble or whatever. Now here's that same channel, channel 1. Well, let's put it in the center instead of it being left. Here's channel 1, and here's channel 2. Here's channel 3. Look, oh look, I got my microphone that I had plugged here, coming down and into channel 3. Here it is. And so let's start off right here. It's center. It's not left or right. That's first. It's a microphone. It needs to be centered. I have some effects, a pretty good amount of them. I can turn it down. Now it's like that. But I want some effects. So I'll add some effects right there. I just leave that off. This pre button, this is if you want the effects to become after or before the fader. You don't have to worry about that. Just leave that up. Okay? And just leave it all the way down, doesn't matter. Okay, so now, this is your bass, how much bass you want. Now, I like to have some bass. This is your middle. If you have a nasally voice, you don't want a lot of middle. You know? So, in fact, if you have a nasal voice, you want to back some of that down. I tend to sound like Bert from Ernie and Bert, so I like to back some of that down. If you have a bass, if you have a voice like this, you might want to add treble, you know. So he says, oh, you got too much treble. You know, treble is right here. This is your mids, right, your middles. And this is your lows. This is the EQ section, the equalizing section. These are your highs, more treble. High is treble, mid is middle, and lows are bass, okay? So now, and up here is gain. So now this is, the signal comes in at the top. Then it hits this, and finally this fader. And then it goes to your speakers or to where we're going next. So let's start at the top. Right here is the sound comes in and it hits this low cut. Now low cut means if I press that, that means it gets rid of all the bass right away. I may want some bass. I may not want it to automatically cut out all the bass. So I'll leave that up, you know. If I got it pressed, I don't care how much bass I get. You know, it's like I got to turn the bass all the way up just to get any, right? That's because you got this down. I want that up, okay? And my gain is like a volume, you know, this is how much of this sound is going to get into this, you know, this. I got that turned all the way down, I won't get nothing, okay? I can turn it up a little, and it's just like another volume knob. This is like the first volume knob. And then it hits all this stuff. Treble, then the middle, then the bass, and then, you know, this and the equalization, and then the pan, and finally this fader. So when people say gain stage, they mean using the gain up here to do your volumes instead of these faders. Because if you do it like up here, instead of down here, when you turn this up here, you get a lot of noise, like like that, because the machine itself is noisy. So you want to use a fader as little as possible, like very small adjustments, because you've already adjusted the volume up here when it first comes in. You already got how loud everything's going to be up here. And then now you can do some small adjustments right here, you know. So now that's called gain staging. Okay, so now we have, I'm going to put my music on this one. Notice here it says 5/6 instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 5, 6, 7. It goes 5, 6. Puts them both together. Well, this channel right here, I'll remove these. This channel right here can take both a left and a right into one single channel. And so that's what I have here. I have RCA jacks with an adapter on the end. See? RCA jack with an adapter on the end. And one's left and the other one's right. And it is going, this cable, and we'll take the cold cable out and show you what it does. It goes into this extension right here, and the extension's real long. You know, here's a big long extension cable, because those cables are short nowadays. You go to Radio Shack, get any length you want. Now you can't. You know, so I got it on an extension. So it starts off like this. Now see this? This is a stereo jack. I know it's a stereo jack because if this thing will actually focus, there. See the two bands? It's got two bands, two black bands. It's silver on the silver. It's got two black bands. That's stereo. Okay, so now here's another stereo adapter. Okay, two black bands. A band right there. Wait, I use this paper. A band right here and a band right here. Two bands, black circles, black bands. That's a stereo. That means this is a stereo jack. It can take a stereo signal and come out of here, and if you put a splitter in there, it'll go left and right like stereo. Okay. Now you don't want to combine stereo and mono. A mono jack looks like a guitar chord. It looks like this. See? One band. One band right here at the top. One band. This has got two bands. One, two. This has one band at the top. This is mono. What you don't want to do is take a mono thing and stick it in a stereo or vice versa. That just screws stuff up. Okay, so now. So anyway, I want to get my music into the Zoom thing. Okay, so now I am going to use this laptop over here. It's an old laptop. It don't matter. It's an old beat up laptop. I'm going to use this. You could use a tablet or a phone or whatever. And I'm going to go into the headset jack of the laptop, which happens to be kind of hard to see. The little headset jack. Now we all know what that is, a headset jack. So I'm going to take that long extension cord I had, the stereo one. It's got to be stereo now. Stick that into the headset jack of my computer. And then I turn my computer on and I play the music, and it'll go down the cable, down into my extension, and into this left and right jack. I took the adapter off, but left and right jack. And then I'm going to take it and put it into channel 5. This was just my choice. I'm going to put it into channel 5. Left. See, it's got the L. And if I had the adapter, right. I'm going to go in there. There's the adapter sitting right there. Notice it's mono. That's because this is left and right. It's, I've split it now. So now one side is left and the other one will be right. There's no need for it to be stereo. Combined, I've separated it. So now it's left and right. They're both mono. See what I'm saying? So, see if I can put this back together. Okay, so now I take my music and I stick it in here. Now I can automatically push it up, louder, quieter. See, -10, +10. Up, down. I'll leave everything up. And when it comes to music, my music should already be mixed. It shouldn't be too bassy or too, unless somebody like myself, I made it myself, But if you get it from one of them karaoke places, usually the mix is already as it should be. You could kind of leave the center, the everything in the middle. Now, if you have a song that is, I don't know, if they tell you to adjust something, here it is, high, high, middle, and low. But leave it in the center for your track. And then no effects for your track. Turn that down. This doesn't matter. You come back down here, balance. This is left or right. We want it in the center because it's, oh, I'm sorry, I'm using the wrong one. This is 7. Okay, 7 and 8. Okay, so now I thought I was in 5 and 6. I'm in 7 and 8. Channel 7 and 8 combined. So now here's the 7 and 8 fader. Notice it doesn't have a gain. That's just unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. I can use the computer's volume. That'll help some. And then I can come up here. Okay. Now this will make it so I can mute it all. Boop. But I don't want it muted. Keep it up. So now that's how I get my music. My music comes in this way. Another way to do this is if I can put my music into track 1 and track 2. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Track 1 and track 2. So now I got to pan them. One goes to the left, one to the right. I can vice versa. It doesn't matter. But as long as they got to be panned now, it's going to sound weird and crazy. And now, since this is music, like I said, we don't want no equalization. So we're going to take all the equalizations and turn them in the center. Okay. This stuff doesn't matter. Turn off all the effects, right? And then, because it's a track, I don't want one side louder than the other, like one ear louder than the other ear, lopsided like that. So we want them both equal. Exactly equal. So if he says, turn up your volume, don't do this. Turn up one, turn it up. Turn them both at the exact same time. They're both down. They're both up. Turn up your volume. Now, the gain stage has also got to be the exact same. You know, the gaining part. So you want these both to be in the same place, whatever that place is. So both of them got to be the same. Now I got all my music and my mic. I'm ready to sing and perform. Well, now I got to come out of the back of this thing. You know, with some cables. Right there. Control room out. They also have main out, but most people don't have that adapter. So I just use control room out. They're coming out. I got 2 wires that come out. And into this Scarlett 8i6. This means 8 inputs, 6 outputs. You don't have to have nothing that big, but as long as you don't get Scarlett Solo, you don't want that. Because that you can't do stereo with that thing. So don't get the cheapest one, that Scarlett Solo thing. Or anything that says solo. Or anything that says 1. Like the product might be some other brand, but it says something 1. That means it's mono. Okay. So now we come in and we got the cable came out of the back. This is where you would normally go to some speakers, but instead of going on the back, normally you go to speakers. But now we're going to go inside of this Focusrite instead. And in the back of the Focusrite, it has an input. Right there. I put it in 3 and 4. Now it has 1 and 2. Now the Focusrite comes with software. These are actually outputs, so we don't want to mess with those. This is an input, the white part. 3 and 4. Well, where's 1 and 2? Well, 1 and 2 is in the front. I want the back, and there's a reason. 3 and 4, because this is automatically left and right. The front is just 2 inputs. They're mono. It's just like as if you had 2 guitars playing at the same time. Or 2 mics talking at the same time. This is left and right, and that's exactly what this board is, left and right. So this is automatically set up in Focusrite to see left and right. Just like your old stereo system was left and right speakers, right? Or left and right input. So it sees this as left and right input. Now, we don't need that cable. This is for something else. It's for keyboards. Okay, that's a power cord. No, that's not. So now, here we go. Now, how do we get to the computer to get to Zoom? Okay, so now, there's my power cord right there. This has phantom power too, but you don't have to have it on. I already have it on where the mic is. Okay, so now, it has a USB right here, USB cord, and that common USB cord you get anywhere. Not like for your phone though. And so, that cord goes all the way to, I happen to have an iMac. This is the whole computer right here. So your monitor would come out of here, your keyboard, you plugged into there, your mouse and everything comes off. This is the whole computer, the iMac. Now you might have a desktop like this, look like that. Or you might have a laptop, look like that. Now whatever it is, you got to get the USB cord from here to your computer, not a tablet or a phone, a computer, which is a laptop or a desktop. Like this. This is a desktop, laptop. Okay. So now, once you do that, you've already installed the Focusrite stuff that comes with it when you buy it. Then that's when you start messing around with Zoom and making sure your stuff is right on Zoom, because now Zoom will see this Focusrite instead of your built-in computer speakers or your mic or your camera. Your camera has a mic. It won't see that either. You'll select Focusrite instead. You'll select the Scarlett Focusrite that you purchased as your microphone on Zoom. Well, now when it selects that Scarlett input, it's gonna pick up all the stuff you put in there. See, it's gonna pick up your music and your mic and all the effects, and it's gonna go in here, and then it's gonna go into your computer, right? And then I got a big TV as a screen, So now that's how it works. Now Zoom will hear your music and everything. You'll sound great. You know, stereo. Now, when you're on Zoom, you have to make sure you pick. You have to turn on original sound, or all of this is for naught. You did all this, you're gonna sound terrible anyway. So make sure your original sound is on. That's an option in Zoom. And there you have it. That is how you. So if you want to sound nice and pretty like all the other people, Lady Coco or Ted Johnson or whatever, or Conflo Ma or what have you, you need to get these things. A board. Now, I happen to have a board that has a lot of channels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm a musician. I got a lot of channels. You will probably only need 4. 2 for your music, 1 for your vocal. You know, now if you don't have a powered mic, you don't have to get a powered mic. You can get a regular mic and a regular mixer, because this will take a regular, mic as well. So you don't have to have a powered mic. You can do the same thing with a regular mic, okay? So that is that. Okay, so this over here, this is the master. 3, okay, now these buttons have a lot of crap that, like your main mix, I want, This is a way of taking things that you plugged in and putting it into the master. So if I had something plugged into the tape deck stuff right here, this is like tape in, like from the 70s, the old tape, you put your tape deck in, or your music could go in here too. Take your music and stick it in there, and now it's going to show up in this fader right here, 3, 4. Your tape deck stuff is going to show up here, and now you want it to be heard on Zoom. Well, now you got to press that and make sure that button comes over here. That is it, ain't it? 3, 4, or tape, whichever it is. So you press whichever one it is, so it can come over to here. Control room, because remember that's where our stuff is out. Control room. So what do you want to come out into the control room? Well, I want my master mix, I want my 3 and 4, and I want my tape. I want them all. And I want them all to come here. That's what I happen to have chosen. So that's how the whole thing works. The rest of the stuff, don't worry about them. Okay, that is the way you sound decent on Zoom.